Hey, what's going on, folks? I'm AutoMattock, and today we're going to talk about how you can win in Third Strike without actually being that good at Third Strike. These are tips that can carry you to probably B rank, but if you get figured out, that's on you. I don't really want to make this video because it's gonna teach people some bad habits. But these aren't that bad habits to have. But if you rely on them too much, it's gonna get you in trouble. But it's gonna work. It's gonna work quite a bit. Okay, so it's kind of a scrubby thing to do, but it works even at high level. Not as often, but you'll find a lot of success with it, is to just down parry. Whether you're blocking something or whether something's hitting you, this will drive the true boomers insane. It'll make them pull the remaining hair follicles out. If you just get contacted by something, tap down. Now, especially the older players and even like Street Fighter 5 and Street Fighter 6 players, they have a habit of wanting to do like frame traps, like something with Ken, for example, would be like a down medium punch. The issue with that is this down medium punch is both a high or a low parry. You can parry this either direction. So if somebody is playing the game in this way, just hit the down parry button. If it hits you and they miss their confirm, oh, that's a good one. It's actually a good Ken player and they do down medium punch and they mess up their super. It don't matter, because either they hit their super and they get the hit they deserve, or when you input down parry and they do the super and they miss it, and when you knock down,
but when he knocked down,
you're just gonna be able to block the super.
you understand? Hell no.
So down parrying just randomly, and if you just get hit by something, like if you rewire your brain, instead of mashing an uppercut or mashing a jab or something crazy, mash the down parry, and especially tap down, and also learn a combo. Learn a combo to do that works very frequently after you do that. Chun player might do something like this, and then you down parry. In the case of Ken, low forward in the super will carry you quite a bit of ways. Crouching medium kick is not going to punish everything after you parry it. Like Hugo's heavy punch giant palm bomber, if you try to use down medium kick against that, it's actually too slow to punish it after you parry. But in general, low forward super is very consistent in punishing things after you parry. Maybe Chun-Li gets a little cheeky and does something like this, and you can actually hit the super. Don't worry about it. You can worry about that when you actually feel like getting good at the game. I gotta stop laughing after I say everything. The next thing I would suggest, if you're playing a character who has a good dash, most of these characters, if you see somebody intelligently playing neutral and they're confident in their spacing, just dash up and throw them. I oftentimes try to play footsies, and then if they dash at me, I don't always get a punish on their dash or some way to check it. A lot of times I just tech the throw. So it's actually a really strong strategy. There's like this invisible mind game that's like the best part of this game that you can't really... I guess you can. You can show footage of how that's set up. But what I'm suggesting is just go do it. And with the next tip in combination, it'll actually work together, which is just buffer normals in the super. Don't care about hit confirming. Don't worry about spacing. Oh, I guess you gotta worry a little bit, but even sometimes it works out. So what am I talking about here? What are you talking about, AutoMattock? I'll freaking show you. I'm gonna make a recording of Ken just whiffing a crouching medium kick into an attack. He's just gonna be doing it into super. So each of these crouching medium kicks, if I get hit by it, it should go into super. You see how my medium punch put my hurt boxes in front of that down medium kick? I ran into it basically. So that doesn't require a hit confirm. And while you're doing this, you're also building more meter for your super by whiffing normals. Of course, if you run into a good player, they're just gonna whiff punish it, right? Like that. But the reward is more for the person who's buffering. So unless I really hit this hard, it's not gonna hurt your feelings that much. And also, you gotta have really good spacing to be able to stand outside of the correct range of this and then whiff punish it. Whereas if you're just sending it in neutral, that doesn't require a whole lot of spacing. As long as they're just far away, it'll work out pretty well. Another example, Chun back heavy punch. This is especially annoying because this move is very difficult to whiff punish, and it has an absurd amount of active frames. The amount of time that it's actually able to hit the opponent, it just lingers for such a long time. You can see the same thing happen if I just misplace a button with like medium punch with Hugo. Look at that. So it might hit me during startup, it might hit me during recovery. It makes the person who's trying to play a neutral-based whiff punish spacing game, it makes it harder for them. And that is why dash and throw in combination with this can work out so well, because your opponent is looking to start standing at a proper place, and then they allot their reactionary time, their multiple choice reaction. They allow that to be focused on whiff punishing. So when you dash in and throw them, oftentimes they're not prepared for it. And what often happens is if you dash in and throw them, you just throw tech. Number 3, I would suggest playing, if you're a new player and you got some good execution maybe, I would suggest playing a one-player character. Play a character with unblockables, or Makoto, or Denjin Ryu, which is pretty much an unblockable. So you got Oro, Ryu, Makoto, and Urien. Maybe Ryu is the easiest out of all these. You just pick Denjin. You just pick Denjin, maybe even combine that with what I was talking about earlier. Just hit low forward and Tatsu. I think this works only if they're standing on most characters. But the general idea is to just get a knockdown. What, donkey? I think you do donkey kick, right? And then fireball Denjin, charge it up, stun them, then. Right? That's how you do it? Something like that? Or combos? There, now you win. Did I just give people the ultimate Denjin Ryu strategy? Just buffer low forward in the donkey kick and with buttons and get Denjin. I think that's what I did. Oro and Urien, they have unblockable setups. Urien with the mirrors, Oro with the booger. Both of them are equally lame and obnoxious. So take your pick, have fun. What I'm suggesting is picking characters that carry you, honestly. And there's one thing I want to note. You can use these strategies to become better. This is not how I do it. This is more of a backwards approach. I made a video already about learning fundamentals, which I think is the best starting point. And then move on to, you know, crazy combos and getting a little crazy on wake up. I think you should walk before you can run. But it's not wrong. A lot of people run before they can walk. That happens a lot more than the other way around, in my opinion. So all approaches are valid. As long as you become a well-rounded player, you'll have more consistent wins, in my opinion. So the last thing is just something I noticed on Fightcade that just doesn't make any sense. I'll play a Urien player with the most swagadocious unblockables. But if I grab them, they don't mash out of it. Like this, when I mash buttons, it gives me more hits. But when your opponent mashes against it, you get less hits. Like what are they doing? So for example, I'll have the recording mash against me. So that was 8 hits. So now I'm gonna mash against it. Oh, it only hit me 2 times that time. That's way better. That's way better. That's way less stun, way less damage. Knockdown will be the same, but it's so easy. You love mashing buttons. Why don't you mash it during the throw? I don't know. Even Oro, if Oro throws you, he only gets like 1 hit and it side switches off of his neutral throw. If you do this correctly, you can only get 1 hit out of this, right? Yeah, you can mash out of it. Doesn't do any damage at all. It's pretty good. So that wraps it up. I hope you learned something. I hope this helps you get wins, but I hope it also encourages you to maybe slow down a little bit. Block on wake up. I don't know. Do whatever you want. Hey, appreciate you. Leave me a like and a comment below. I hope you learned something. I'm AutoMattock. Peace. Okay, video number 1 done.